What's up? I hope you're all having a good day or night, depending on where you are or what time you're watching this right now. So, today I'm just doing the next reading of, one of the best books ever, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. So, yeah, today is pages 75 to 100, I believe. So, yeah. Anyway, that's kind of all I'll be doing. It's just, reading those pages. So, yep. Okay. So if you don't know, I've done 3 other videos so far of reading this book, just going by 25 pages each. So, yeah, this is now the 4th one. So, let's do this thing. There we go. I'll just do like a little recap of page 75. Where we left off. So they had just done like the Halloween thing, and they just got drenched by Hank Heffley. So, I'll just read the last 2 paragraph line things. The only things we could salvage were a couple of mints that were wrapped in cellophane, and the toothbrushes Dr. Garrison gave us. I think next Halloween I'll just stay home and mooch some Butterfingers from the bowl Mom keeps on top of the refrigerator. Okay. Now we are on to November. Hang on. On to November. On a Thursday. On the bus ride into school today, we passed by Grandma's house. It got rolled with toilet paper last night, which I guess was no big surprise. Yeah. After those bullies chased Greg and Rowley into the house, it's not surprising. I do feel a little bad, because it looked like it was going to take a long time to clean up. But on the bright side, Grandma is retired, so she probably didn't have anything planned for today anyway. Dude, I hate Greg so much. I really cannot stand Greg Heffley at all. Okay, on to Wednesday. In 3rd period, Mr. Underwood, our physical education teacher, announced that the boys will be doing a wrestling unit for 6 weeks. If there's one thing most boys in school are into, it's professional wrestling. So Mr. Underwood might as well have set off a bomb. Lunch comes right after physical education, and the cafeteria was a complete madhouse. When I was in middle school like Greg, it got like that sometimes, where the lunchroom was a madhouse like this. I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. But it wasn't for fun. It was because people didn't know how to act right. But, oh well. I don't know what the school is thinking having a wrestling unit, but I decided if I don't want to get twisted into a pretzel for the next month and a half, I'd better do my homework on this wrestling business. So I rented a couple of video games to learn some moves, and you know what? After a while, I was really starting to get the hang of it. He's saying, does this feel right? And then Riley saying, yes, no, help. Because, yeah, Greg's whooping him. Personally, I wouldn't take that. Rowley, I would not take that from Greg. Greg is a twig. Just snap him in 2, In fact, the other kids in my class had better look out, because if I keep this up, I could be a real threat. I don't know about that one. Then again, I better make sure I don't do too good. Then this kid named Preston Preston. P-Mud. P-Mud, 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 P-Mud. You know, in today's society, I'd say that name calling is pretty lighthearted. But that's pretty unfortunate if you think about it. Alright, on to Thursday. Well, I found out today that the kind of wrestling Mr. Underwood is teaching is completely different from the kind they do on TV. First of all, we have to wear these things called singlets, which look like those bathing suits they used to wear in the 1800s. Yeah, he's not wrong about that. And second of all, there are no pile drivers or hitting people over the head with chairs or anything like that. There's not even a ring with ropes around it. It's just basically a sweaty mat that smells like it's never been washed before. Mr. Underwood started asking for volunteers so he could demonstrate some wrestling holds, but there was no way I was going to raise my hand. Me and Rowley tried to hide out in the back of the gym near the curtain, but that's where the girls were doing their gymnastics unit. And there they are laughing at him. They're going, ha 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 ha. We got out of there in a hurry and we went back to where the rest of the guys were. Mr. Underwood singled me out probably because I'm the lightest kid in the class, and he could toss me around without straining himself. He showed everybody how to do all these things called a half Nelson and a reversal and a takedown and stuff like that. When he was doing this one move called the fireman's carry, I felt a breeze down below, and I could tell my singlet wasn't doing a good job keeping me covered up. That's when I thanked my lucky stars. The girls were on the other side of the gym. Oh man. Mr. Underwood divided us up into weight groups, so I was pretty happy about that at first, because it meant I wasn't going to have to wrestle kids like Benny Wells, who can bench press 250 pounds. Yeah, he looks like he can bench that much. I mean, he looks like a bridge troll or something, like you gotta pay him in order to cross the bridge, something like that. But then I found out who I did have to wrestle, and I would have traded for Benny Wells in a heartbeat. And Greg, the coach is now saying, Greg, you'll be paired up with Fregley here. With Fregley. That's gotta suck. Fregley was the only kid light enough to be in my weight class, and apparently Fregley was paying attention when Mr. Underwood was giving instructions, because he pinned me every which way you could imagine. I spent my 7th period getting way more familiar with Fregley than I ever wanted to. Oh man. You know, I don't like Greg, but I would not wish that on my worst enemy. Getting pinned by Fregley. It's gotta suck. Alright, on to Tuesday. This wrestling unit has totally turned our school upside down. Now kids are wrestling in the hallways, in the classroom, you name it. But the 15 minutes after lunch where they let us outside is the worst. You can't walk 5 feet without tripping over a couple of kids going at it. I just try to keep my distance and make my words, and mark my words. One of these fools is going to roll right onto the cheese and start the cheese touch all over again. My other big problem is that I have to wrestle Fregley every single day. But this morning, I realized something. If I can move out of Fregley's weight class, I won't have to wrestle him anymore. So today, I stuffed my clothes with a bunch of socks and shirts to get myself into the next weight class. But I would still like to move up. Oh man, that's gotta suck. I realized I was going to have to gain weight for real. At first, I thought I should just start loading up on junk food, but then I had a much better idea. I decided to gain my weight in muscle, not fat. I've never been all that interested in getting in shape before, but this wrestling unit has made me rethink things. I figure if I bulk up now, it could actually come in handy down the road. The football unit is coming up in the spring, and they split the teams up into shirts and skins, and I always get put on skins. I think they do that to make all the out-of-shape kids feel ashamed of themselves. If I can pack on some muscle now, it'll be a whole different story next April. He's saying, Greg Heffley, you're on skins, and of course Greg is ripped and ready to go. Tonight after dinner, I got Mom and Dad together and told them my plan. I told them I was going to need some serious exercise equipment and some weight gain powder too. I showed them some muscle magazines I got at the store so they could see how ripped I was going to be. Mom didn't really say anything at first, but Dad was pretty enthusiastic. I think he was just glad I had a change of heart from how I used to be when I was a kid. And he's saying, the dad is saying if he works out enough, he can get big muscles, and Greg's saying muscles are gross. Muscles are ewy. Yeah, Greg would say that, wouldn't he? Yeah. But Mom said if I wanted a weight set, I was going to have to prove that I could stick with an exercise regimen. She said I could do that by doing sit-ups and jumping jacks for 2 weeks. I had to explain that the only way to get totally bulked up is to get the kind of high-tech machines they have at the gym. But Mom did not want to hear it. Then Dad said if I wanted a bench press, I should keep my fingers crossed for Christmas. But Christmas is a month and a half away, and if I get pinned by Fregley one more time, I'm going to have a nervous breakdown. So it looks like Mom and Dad are not going to be any help, and that means I'm going to have to take matters into my own hands, as usual. Sure. Right. Okay. On to Saturday. I couldn't wait to start my weight training program today, even though Mom wouldn't let me get the equipment I needed. I wasn't going to let that hold me back. So I went into the fridge and emptied out the milk and orange juice and filled the jugs with sand. Then I taped them to a broomstick, and I had a pretty decent barbell. After that, I made a bench press out of an ironing board and some boxes. Once I had that all set, I was ready to do some serious lifting. I needed a spotting partner, so I called Rowley, and when he showed up at my door wearing some ridiculous getup, I knew I made a mistake inviting him. There's this dumbbell of milk, jugs, and sand. And then there's Rowley. Rowley is definitely ready to go. I made Rowley use the bench press first, mostly because I wanted to see if the broomstick was going to hold up. He did about 5 reps, and he was ready to quit, but I wouldn't let him. That's what a good training partner is for, to push you beyond your limits. He's saying, 15 more, come on. You got this, Rowley. You got this. I knew Rowley wasn't going to be as serious about weightlifting as I was, so I decided to try out an experiment to test his dedication. In the middle of Rowley's set, I went and got this phony nose and mustache Roderick has in his junk drawer. And right when Rowley had the barbell in his down position, I leaned over and looked at him. Oh man. Sure enough, Rowley totally lost his concentration. He couldn't even get the barbell off his chest. I thought about helping him out, but get serious about working out, he was never going to get to my level. There he is, struggling. I mean, it's if there is a person out there that genuinely likes Greg Heffley, I mean, are you okay? Like, are you good? Or like, are you okay? Nobody should like Greg Heffley. Nobody, whether you've read the book or just watched the movie. He's not a good dude, okay? I eventually had to rescue him because he started biting the milk jug to let the sand leak out. After Rowley got off the bench press, it was time for my set, but Rowley said he didn't feel like working out anymore and he went home. You know, I figured he'd pull something like that, but I guess you can't expect everyone to have the same kind of dedication that you do. Alright, on to Wednesday. Today in geography, we had a quiz, and I have to say I've been looking forward to this one for a long time. The quiz was on state capitals, and I sit in the back of the room right next to this giant map of the United States. All the capitals are written in big red paint, so I knew I had this one in the bag. See, when I was in school, the teachers would cover that stuff up with like tarps and blankets and stuff like that, and like put tape over them so you couldn't cheat. But right before the test got started, Patty Farrell piped up from the front of the room. Oh yeah, Patty Farrell. I forgot about her. She sucks. Not as bad as Greg though. She's saying, "Teacher, teacher." Patty told Mr. Ira that he should cover up the United States map before we got started. And he's saying, "Nice catch, Patty." Yeah, Patty, nice catch. Nice catch. Very nice. So thanks to Patty, I ended up flunking the quiz, and I will definitely be looking for a way to pay her back for that one. Alright, on to Thursday. Tonight, Mom came up to my room, and she had a flyer in her hand. As soon as I saw it, I knew exactly what it was. It was an announcement that the school is having tryouts for a winter play. Man, I should have thrown that thing out when I saw it on the kitchen table. I begged her not to make me sign up. Those school plays are always musicals, and the last thing I need is to have to sing a solo in front of the entire school. But all my begging seemed to do was make Mom more sure that I should do it. Mom said the only way I was going to be well-rounded was by trying different things. Dad came in my room to see what was going on. I told Dad that Mom was making me sign up for the school play, and that if I had to start going to play practices, it would totally mess up my weightlifting schedule. I knew that would make Dad take my side. Dad and Mom argued for a few minutes, but Dad was no match for Mom. Poor guy. So that means tomorrow I've got to audition for the school play. Alright, on to Friday. The play they're doing this year is The Wizard of Oz. A lot of kids came wearing costumes for the parts they were trying out for. I've never even seen the movie, so for me, it was like walking into a freak show. I personally have seen the movie many times, and I've seen multiple adaptations of The Wizard of Oz as well. It's definitely like if there was one movie to be described as like a fever dream movie, I'd say, I would vote for it to be The Wizard of Oz. Okay, that's all I gotta say about it. Mrs. Norton, the music director, made everyone sing My Country, 'Tis of Thee, so she could hear our singing voices. I did my singing tryouts with a bunch of other boys whose mom made them come too. I tried to sing as quietly as possible, but of course I got singled out anyway. She's saying, "What a lovely soprano." I have no idea what a soprano is, but from the way some of the girls were giggling, I knew it wasn't a good thing. Tryouts went on forever, auditions for Dorothy, who I guess is the lead character in the play, and who should try out first but Patty Farrell. I thought about trying out for the part of the witch because I heard that in the play the witch does all sorts of mean things to Dorothy. But then somebody told me there's a good witch and a bad witch, and with my luck, I'd end up getting picked to be the good one. Alright, on to Monday. I was hoping Mrs. Norton would just cut me from the play, but today she said that everyone who tried out is going to get a part, so lucky me. Mrs. Norton showed the Wizard of Oz movie so everyone would know the story. I was trying to figure out what part I should play, but pretty much every character has to sing or dance. At one point or another, I read that separately for some reason. But pretty much every character has to sing or dance at one point or another. But about halfway through the movie, I figured out what part I wanted to sign up for. I'm going to sign up to be a tree because 1, they don't have to sing, and 2, they get to bean Dorothy with apples. Yeah, they're not very nice trees, but to be fair, Dorothy did pick an apple off of them, so it's kind of like tree assault in a way. So, eye for an eye. Alright, last page for this video, page 100. Page 100. Getting to beg Patty Farrell with apples in front of a live audience would be my dream come true. I may actually have to thank Mom for making me do this play once it's all over. After the movie ended, I signed up to be a tree. Unfortunately, a bunch of other guys had the same idea as me, so I guess there are a lot of guys who have a bone to pick with Patty Farrell. Okay, on to Wednesday. Well, like Mom always says, be careful what you wish for. I got picked to be a tree, but I don't know if that's such a good thing. The tree costumes don't actually have armholes, so I guess that rules out any apple throwing. Okay, that does it for this video. That was pages 75 to 100, so I hope you all enjoyed. We still got, let's see, there's like about 210 pages in total, so we're like almost halfway there, so making very good progress though. I really gotta get a bookmark. I mean, that's okay, going in like intervals of 25 pages makes it easy to remember where I'm at, so that's okay. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed. I like these videos, I like making them. They're very simple and fun to do, so I like it. So yeah, let me know what you all thought. I hope you all are feeling much more relaxed and sleepy compared to before you clicked on this video. And yeah, with that, once again, thank you all for watching. And I don't usually say this a lot, but if you want to check out my last video, that'd be awesome. It's like a Harry Potter roleplay thing that I talked about a few times for like a couple months now, and I finally got around to doing it. So, it won't be the last Harry Potter roleplay I do, but it will be for a while, probably. But yeah, anyway, if you want to check it out, go right ahead. That'd be cool. If you want to, of course. But anyway, yeah, that is about it. So, have a great rest of your day or night, of course. And yeah, with that, I will see you all in the next video. So, thanks again,